Hello, my beautiful friend, and welcome to Kris Over 50. Today we are talking the Makiage Woke Up Like This foundation. I don't know about you, I was getting inundated with this on Insta. I went ahead and bought it because they offer a 14-day 100% money-back guarantee. It was only after I got it that I realized this foundation has actually been out for quite some time. Here are the deets on it. It sells for $45. My undergrad is engineering. I love stuff like this. It's got a little magnetic closure in it and the cutout there on the side. And the foundation itself comes in a frosted glass bottle, which I think is just like the most elegant packaging for a foundation. And hallelujah, it's a pump. Their big claim on this foundation is that everybody can find their shade match. And in fact, they offer 50 shades, which is pretty impressive. They say that it is medium to high coverage. And honestly, I don't know the difference between high and full, but I won't give it quite to full, definitely medium plus. It has a natural matte finish, it's vegan, and has vitamin E and hyaluronic acid in it. I'm 53 years old. I have normal to dry skin. It definitely runs dehydrated. Occasionally I can get dry flaky patches. My pores aren't too bad. I definitely have some deep lines and wrinkles and no real hyperpigmentation. I put this foundation through its paces. No primer, different setting powders, different setting sprays, you name it. I am using my IT brushes for Ulta Airbrush 101. That is my go-to foundation brush. The instructions say to apply 2 pumps to your entire face, jaw, and neckline. Okay, I just do my face and wrap it a little bit under my jaw. The directions say to blend out with a brush or sponge, not by hand. And then to wait for 5 minutes for the foundation to set before checking the shade. Not surprisingly, it goes on quite nicely with a brush. And I feel like I'm getting medium, maybe approaching medium coverage here. It mostly covered the redness in my cheeks, not completely, but a good solid medium coverage with the 2 pumps and the brush. This is a photo at 8 hours. Admittedly, it is not a great photo. My apologies for that. What I can tell you though is when I checked in the mirror, it was still on my chin and my nose. Yes, it had settled into my deepest wrinkles, but not bad. Like it wasn't a harsh line, it didn't slide off the sides, it just was accumulated a little bit. And it actually still was looking really good despite what this picture looks like. Yesterday, it actually wore really well without primer. So I did a lot of thinking about what primer I wanted to try today, and I decided on going with the SMASHBOX Photo Finish Pore Minimizer Primer. This is a thick primer and blends in almost like a paste. And today we're using a beauty sponge for application. So I'm taking the 2 pumps and we'll just start in the center of the face. One of the things that I am enjoying about this foundation is that the coverage I get feels medium, but the texture and the consistency of the foundation feel like a light foundation. So that's kind of nice. This is an 8-hour check-in on this foundation, and I've got to say I'm pretty impressed. It is not worn off anywhere. Not worn off my chin, not worn off my nose. It has mildly settled into this crease and this crease, but not this one. And when I say mildly, that means there's a little line of foundation, but it didn't like slide off the sides like one of the foundations I reviewed recently did. So that's pretty good. I set this morning with the Becca Hydra setting powder that is sadly no longer available. I use that because I know that powder. It's a known quantity for me. I really like it. I know that anything that goes wrong with the foundation will be the foundation's fault, not the powder's fault. And for that reason, I also finished today with the It Bye Bye Pores Compressed Finishing Powder, because that, for me, is a known quantity. And I feel like I'm a little shiny in my nose, a little shiny across my forehead. We did have a beautiful, very unseasonably warm day here in Seattle, 77 degrees. I ate lunch outside. I went for a walk this afternoon. So I'm not terribly surprised that I got a little shiny. We're back to mid-50s and rain tomorrow, so that might be a better test for the shiny factor. But I gotta say, I think this is looking really nice here at 8 hours. Still looks good, good medium coverage. I'm pretty happy. YouTuber 101 mistake. I was not actually shooting. So I'm going to tell you that I used the Liss Gripping Primer, that it's a super runny, watery primer. And then out of curiosity, even though Il Makiage says only use the sponge or a brush to apply the foundation, I shook it up really well, put 2 pumps on the back of my hand, and Rebel used my fingers. And looking in my 10X mirror right here, thought it looked really good. Thought it gave me more coverage, and I only ended up using a pump and a half of what I put on the back of my hand. Had to wipe the rest off with a Kleenex. So, and then looked over and went, oh, I'm not actually recording. If you're enjoying this content, go ahead and subscribe, give me a like, and ring the bell down below. This is an 8-hour check-in, and I wanted to let you know that today I set the foundation with the RCMA Original No Color Powder, and I used my go-to It Bye Bye Pores Pressed Powder for a finishing powder, and I used the Tarte Stay Spray for a setting spray today. And this foundation has not broken up anywhere. It still looks really good. I had a mask on for about an hour today while I was out shopping. It had no problems with that. I don't think there's a foundation out there that wouldn't settle into this line and this line, but not that line. It's, you know what? I am just super impressed with this foundation. Today was the gripping primer. Yeah, it doesn't seem to care what primer you use. I've used different powders. It's just really impressive. I have been so impressed with this foundation. I mean, 5 different primers, different setting sprays, different powders, no powder, fingers, beauty blender, brush, all of it. Fantastic. You know, I did 8-hour check-ins, but honestly, when I went to bed at night, a good 12, 14 hours later, it was still going strong. It gives a good medium coverage, maybe medium plus. I don't know that I would get it quite to full coverage, but you know what? I don't want full coverage 99% of the time. It feels good on my face. It didn't break up. Minor settling into fine lines, but you know what? Those lines are so deep, anything is going to settle into those. Didn't emphasize pores, smoothed out my color, made my skin look better than it is. I have found this to be a really dependable foundation. Like, don't think about it, just put it on in the morning. No, it's going to look good all day. It plays well with creams, it plays well with powders. It's not going to get too shiny. Just, you know, I'm glad I fell for that Instagram ad. If you've enjoyed this content, I have another video up here I think you're going to enjoy. I'll link it in just a moment on the end screen, plus a playlist of all the foundation reviews on my channel. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a really great day.